Yes?
Hey?
Life had me ploughed, now here I'm marching proud. There's been a mistake. I'm no mage.
for you, pal! Anything.
Watch your heads! I live to serve you. Fear not, we shall achieve our goal.
Ever have a storm knock out one of your team?
Coin never stinks, no matter how rank the pouch.
Blackbrook Vale. The name itself embodied infamy. Neve arrived expecting misty ravines, decrepit trees bound in spiders' webs, and swarms of bats. What she saw was a warmly gurgling stream and the valley's gentle slopes blanketed in crocus blooms. Only a village...
The village seems shrouded in a guise. Be not deceived,
said the Queen.
Reynard! Some men to search the environs for any sign of life.
The blood-curdling roar that came from the ruins a moment later proved the Queen's caution warranted beyond any doubt.
settlers!
Again and again and again.
Quick and painful this'll be. Give me a target.
Ever have a storm knock out one of your teeth?
Of course I'll manage. I paid a full week. Pointy end upwards, right?
Greetings. What is it?
Without hesitation.
Have it the white of an eye from half a league away.
Army's a waste of time for one like me.
You sure about that?
I'll fight to my last breath.
Likely the last, that one. Should be safe now.
Following the victory, the settlers' hopes seemed renewed. Could the beasts they felled have killed the previous lot of colonists? Perhaps the curse that had long hung over Blackbrook Vale was at last broken.
We thank ye, your majesty.
The settlers' leader said, slipping the satchel from his shoulder.
You've granted us new hope. And a new home.
The dwarves rolled up their sleeves at once and set about repairing the cottages. Sounds of hammering, sawing and chopping filled the valley, accompanied by a steady stream of dwarven song. Niamh left Blackbrook Vale, her spirits soaring. How great was her subsequent shock when the elders summoned dwarves for another expedition to the valley. It seemed the settlers Niamh had escorted had met the same fate as the colonists who had preceded them. Yet what had killed either group would never be known. The rumors Gabor had overheard were true. Scouts returned with news of a cavern at whose mouth lay rotted logs, an indication that something of great weight may have been rolled inside. Chests full of gold, for instance. Then again, paw tracks clearly showed some beasts had made the cave their home.
Right. Decision time. Enter or scramble back down.
Said Gascon, rubbing his hands together for warmth.
Please hurry. This frost is downright biting.
We've scaled this high. Foolish we'd be to descend empty-handed. Fall in behind me!
The Queen took the fore, sword in one hand, torch in the other. The flickering flame's glow illuminated the cave's interior, casting long shadows. Niamh was certain some horror would leap at her at any moment. And she was not at all wrong.
Follow me! Together now!
Army's a waste of time for one like me.
Pointy end upwards, right?
If anyone asks, you've not seen me.
Watch your heads! I'm done in a jiffy.
Hustle them! No other way!
Fear not! We shall achieve our goal!
Her Majesty is exceptional.
Catch!
Left, right, left, right.
Treasure trove ought to be close now. Come on.
As soon as the last beast had fallen, the Lyrians took to seeking out the treasure. Soldiers dispersed throughout the caverns in a rush, penetrating every last corner. Finally, one called out.
Got it! Got the treasure right here! Treasure! Shiny stuff!
A number of steel-reinforced chests lay up against the cavern wall. Meve blew the dust from the lid of one and lifted it with some difficulty. She had hoped for gold and jewels, bars of Mahakam and steel at the least. Instead, she saw thousands of time-tarnished copper coins with a hole through their centre.
What's this bloody crap? Tokens of some sort?
Aye, that's right. Holy Goldens, we call them. They're, currency in Mahakam. Get our wages in them. Use them to cop victuals and hooch.
What of arms, armour, tools?
Nah. Oh, that's given to us. Clan provides it. Is that what you need? Weapons? Oh, feel the idiot now.
Yet these tokens, they can be exchanged for other
Aye. Doable in theory, but not at all clever. Rates are crap. See, they...
What's this? Common dwarves use no gold. You cannot be serious.
Yet I am. What good's gold to them? Clan gives them all they need. And victuals and hooch beyond need, they get for tokens.
Yet you trade with humans. Gold coin you take for your goods, the coin must serve a purpose. What is it?
We hoard it all. In vaults. Great piles. Down bottom lie ducats dating from the reign of that dozy ham-shanker King Dagrid.
And you do not put it to use? Acquire anything for it? Then it's true what folks say, that you love gold too much to part with it. Hoard it for pleasure, as dragons do.
Point of fact. That there's pure drivel. Gold's a metal like any other, just yellow. We hoard it for our safety.
Your safety? I fear again, I simply don't follow.
Couldn't it be simpler? Soon as human folk get it in their heads we's a thorn in their side, we'll spend it. All of it, in a jiffy. Excess coin supply, that's called. Matter of days, gold'll be worth less than sawdust. And you're tossing banks and economies, bam, on their arses. There'll be nothing left of them. They'll cave in faster than a mine shaft with rotten props. Why are you all ogling me? With human folk for neighbours, we dwarves got to be damn vigilant, as sheep round wolves.
So how can these tokens serve me?
We must trade them. Even should we get a pittance, it will be something. The soldiers demand their pay.
Ach, your bums out the windy. Fighting men want full dixies and tankards of hooch. Coins but a means to that end.
What do you suggest then?
As I've been saying, the tokens we use to purchase nourishment and mead, and what you've got in those chests, why, that'll do to fund a feast the likes of which Mahakam's not seen since Brewer was sworn in as Elder-in-Chief. The fighting men'll eat and drink their fill, carouse about and forget their due and pay right quick, and invite the local dwarves to...
Caution be damned.
Your Grace, I feel obliged to...
Should go to building our army, I know. Sir Gabor, take the tokens.
As Meave's force could not possibly fit in a tavern, the feast was laid out in a storehouse. Crates arranged in rows served as tables and benches, while the windows were festooned with lion's foot and passiflower. Great barrels of mead, cognac, and vodka were rolled in, and when the soldiers saw this, they broke out in cheers and laughter that lasted till dawn.
Pour us another round, you lovable Lyrian bastards!
For he's a jolly good a jolly good dwarf.
There was food and drink enough for the dwarves of the pass, who, with Meave's men, raised tankards in hand and voices in song the night through. To see them sharing tales and playing cards, one would not believe that anywhere down the mountains, through woods and across plains, humans and dwarves might, for the softest slight, leap at each other, murder in their eyes.
I'd get up. I would, Your Majesty, but my arse is frozen to the ground. Four Dwarfs Codex states it clear. If you're in a mine and something knocks, you'd do best not to knock back. Ever. Four Dwarfs Codex
We would take root neath Mount Carbon, where it... Well, that's yet more settlers in the ground. Ah, they was...
Riding past a mine, Meave noticed a group of miners gathered around the entrance to a shaft. Frost had settled on their moustaches and beards, suggesting they had been there for some time. The Queen summoned Gabor and asked him to determine the reason for this sit-in. He returned after a few minutes and announced the most curious thing.
They're waiting for the knocking to stop.
Meave's frown prompted Gabor to explain in greater detail.
According to our laws, dwarves can't go into a mine if there's knocking coming from inside. We're obliged to wait for the ruckus to quieten down.
Ah, yes. Our own miners share this superstition.
Reynard interjected.
They say the knocking is that...
With all due respect, your miners are dimwits.
Gabor said, patting Reynard on the shoulder.
Knocking means an imminent and abrupt discharge of the potential pliable energy of rock formations. In other words, ye ken, a rock burst. Except usually it's all done in a day or two.
If in this manner I can gain favour among your brethren,
sighed the Queen, dismounting.
So be it. I shall descend and see what the problem is.
The shaft was too narrow to fit an entire... Soon the company arrived at the place that seemed the source of the knocking. Gabor put his ear to the rock and listened for several moments.
hear something. What was that?
Watch your heads!
Who goes there? Drop your weapons!
Nay, you drop yours!
You must sweat like a swine in that jacket.
Nothing personal, I assure you.
Who just grabbed me?
Oh, apologies, Maeve. I thought you were raining.
Ever have a stone knock out one you see?
One boat's all I need. Oh, could murder a pint.
Reynard! Are we winning? I can't see a bloody thing!
Discipline shall bring us victory!
Not going into the fray already, are we?
stop, we surrender!
Both sides were surprised. Both fought in the weak light of torches, nearly down on hands and knees. In the end, the Queen emerged victorious, and as soon as she had returned her sword to its sheath, she asked the new prisoners a question that was on everyone's mind.
Who the devils are you?
The captives looked at each other in disbelief, as if before them stood a ghost. Finally, one of them managed to choke out a response.
Your Highness, we're your subjects.
Meve recognized the accent at once. The men came from Rivia. But what were they doing so far from home? According to the prisoner's account, after the Nilfgaardians' invasion of their kingdom, terrible poverty gripped the land. Some desperate inhabitants had gone to the mountains of Mahakam, engaging in wildcat mining in search of precious ores. Without asking the dwarves what they thought of this,
You know yourself, my queen.
explained one captured Riv.
They guard their treasure real jealous-like, don't care a whit about the suffering of others. They see us starving down in valley and don't lift a stubby finger.
Sadly, the Rivians had dug close to existing corridors. When Gabor destroyed the wall that stood between them and the dwarves, they were convinced they were being attacked by monsters, so they raised arms in self-defense.
Maeve, 'tis a tough nut to ken,
said Gabor.
but let's nae kid ourselves.
The foreman wished for the knocking to stop,
Said the Queen.
and so it shall. As for you, go back to Rivia, and tell all their queen shall soon return, leading an army.
The grateful Rivs quickly packed up their tools and left the mountains. Meve had no doubt Bruva Hoog would soon learn of the affair and would certainly not approve of her decision. Yet she preferred to face the Elder's wrath than send her subjects to a dwarven prison, or possibly to their death.
Well, boys, we swing and we get back to work.
The sound of approaching hoofbeats made Meve turn to see Reynard spurring on his panting horse, galloping at a breakneck speed towards her.
Ill tidings I bring, Your Grace.
Clearly. Glad tidings never arrive with such urgency.
Our scouts captured a Nilfgaardian messenger. He was traveling in disguise, and by night. When he realized his capture was imminent, he strove to destroy the letters he carried. We were able to salvage some, in parts.
Anything of interest?
Yes, there is, I fear. Your Majesty, you must listen. Consider your offer accepted. Direct Meve and her force to the agreed site. We await their arrival. Your reward shall be as agreed. Hail Keritsa.
A traitor. We might have expected as much. Nilfgaard has shown amply that it abides only by the rules it sets. Since they have not proved able to defeat me in the field, in open battle, they seek other means. I suppose the scroll bears no name.
It does not, Your Grace.
The messenger. Have you questioned him?
Naturally, Your Grace. Alas, he knows not to whom the letter is directed. He was to leave it in an agreed spot.
I take it tidings of the whole affair have spread throughout the force?
Yes, Your Majesty. The witnesses were too many to keep this fact a secret.
We must thus assume the traitor in our ranks knows it as well, and will make no attempt to retrieve the scroll. A dead end. Have we any other leads or clues?
None, I fear, Your Majesty. We must be alert. Keep a keen eye on events as they unfold, and exercise great caution in forging new acquaintances.
Very well. Eyes wide open, all senses attuned. Yours in particular, Reynard.
Of course, my liege.
Aye. Should have listened to me old lady.
Have it the white of an eye from half a league away.
This harvest, we'll be reaping black-clad heads.
Bigger they are, easier they are to target.
My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me.
Thing about slings, they hide well.
There's a time to reap, a time to sow, a time to die.
Hey?
Neve's force neared Davor's abyss. Signs of beastly feasting were not hard to find. Countless paw and claw tracks were impressed in the blood-stained snow. Among the boulders, bones picked clean were strewn about. Gascon lifted one from the ground.
Empty inside,
He said.
Something sucked out the marrow.
Neve's soldiers feigned indifference to the grisly sight. They marched on, their stepped rhythm unwavering, a song on their lips. A moment later, a commander's horn sounded, the signal to halt. The Queen galloped to the fore of the column and found herself at the edge of a vast, round hole.
A mine of the strip variety.
Gabor explained.
Treasures we picked and shovelled for here. Diamonds. Till we happened on the beasts, that is.
What now?
Orion's a dam. Holds back a lake.
Meve squinted and gazed into the distance. Indeed, there was the dam. And at its foot, a swarm of beasts roiled about. Her soldiers...
Gabor!
Meve cried out over the whirling wind.
Have you bards here in Mahakam?
Course, your grace!
Then we shall give them good reason to compose this day, on the themes of courage, of heroism, of Lyria! Gee up!
And with...
Here's the way down. We need to break through and destroy the dam.
You must sweat like a swine in that jacket.
Bigger they are, easier they are to target.
Ah!
course I'll manage. I trained a full week.
Your Grace, monsters approach from all sides.
There's been a mistake. I'm no mage.
Tell me you jest.
Getting to work.
Her Majesty knows what she's doing.
Watch your heads! Pointy end upwards, right?
Left, right, left, right.
And just when you thought things were about to get dull.
Here's the way down. We need to break through and destroy the dam.
Naturally. At once.
One goal.
You mad? Don't shake that!
Give me a time.
Your Grace, monsters approach from all sides. Discipline shall bring us victory!
My pain serves a purpose.
Yes?
Of course I'll manage. I trained a full week.
Oh, could murder a pint. Excellent! The dam's about to give! Here's the way down. We need to break through and destroy the dam.
Watch your heads! Naturally. At once. Catch! Pointy end upwards, right?
We must trust each other. One boat. Your Grace, monsters approach from all sides.
My pain serves a purpose.
Life had me ploughed, now here I'm marching proud.
Excellent! The dam's about to give!
Have it the white of an eye from half a league away. Bigger they are, easier they are to target.
Here's the way down. We need to break through and destroy the dam.
You mad? Don't shake that!
This could hurt.
What do you want of me?
My scars? No, they don't hurt.
Left, right, left. What now?
Yes?
Your Grace, monsters approach from all sides.
Here's the way down. We need to break through and destroy the dam.
As you command.
Coin never stinks, no matter how rank the pouch.
Greetings. What is it?
Not going into the fray already, are we? You mad? Don't shake that!
Your Grace, monsters approach from all sides.
Army's a waste of time for men like me.
I'm a horse.
Enough chit-chat. Draw your weapon.
Company! Forward march!
Oh, could murder a pint. Here's the way down. We need to break through and destroy the dam.
Again and again and again.
Naturally. At once.
Catch!
Hey?
Pointy end upwards, right?
Yes?
Getting to work.
Your Grace, monsters approach from all sides.
I'll fight to my last breath.
I'm a monster. Life had me ploughed, now here I'm marching proud.
Excellent! The dam's about to give! You sure about that?
Excellent work!
And indeed, bards sang of this battle soon after. For no claws or fangs could break through the wall of shields the Lyrians raised that day. And no scales could protect the beasts from the Lyrians' stinging arrows and blades.
Fight! Do not relent! Let us show these beasts! It is they who should fear us!
The Queen shouted. In the end, the beasts turned to flee, yet Maeve's force cut off any chance of escape. A solid wall of men began to push the monsters ever closer to the edge of Davor's abyss. Pressed from all sides, the horrors began slipping over the precipice, screeching terribly as they fell. Silence came at last. The Queen stood at the edge of the precipice, breathing heavily, leaning on her sword. From the depths of the mine came muted growls and groans.
Let's flood the damn hole,
hissed Gabor,
before any other shite crawls out of it.
A rush of icy water suddenly rose, then just as abruptly plunged into the mine, flooding the pit. And where once lay Davor's abyss, now lay Davor's pond. Maeve descended back into the pass, exhausted and covered in beastly blood, yet also exceedingly pleased. She was one step closer to dwarven support in the war against Nilfgaard. Once the Lyrians had put some distance between themselves and the now destroyed monster lair, Maeve ordered her men to pitch camp. Then she sent the quartermaster off for food and drink. The soldiers lit campfires, then set aside their weapons. Soon after, lively music and song could be heard throughout the camp.
Your Majesty,
Reynard said from behind Maeve's back.
A messenger from the Elder-in-Chief.
The Queen turned to see a dwarf in a richly adorned jerkin and a shako with golden seams. She stifled her laugh into a smile and lifted her chin proudly, expecting praise and a pledge of aid in the war against Nilfgaard.
My lady, your daring deeds have come to the Elder's attention,
said the dwarf in a measured voice.
He's positively irate and demands an explanation.
Irate? But why? I and my men, we've aided you greatly.
Elder Hugh awaits at the Long Bridge. You'd be wise not to keep him there any length of time.
And with that, all the Queen's enthusiasm for a celebration was instantly gone. She waited until the fires expired and the songs died down, then gave the order to march.
Frozen, all. Only the banner moves, blown by the wind.
Downright poetic. Prime material for a ballad, perhaps even a whole saga.
Gazing towards the horizon, Niamh noticed a dark shape outlined against the mantle of snow that lay on the ground. It proved a tower, toppled and broken in pieces. Around it lay the ruins of other buildings, blocks hewn out of basalt rock protruding from the permafrost.
That'd be the Clan Vidmar ruins,
Said Gabor, hollering over the wind.
Rich ones had their clan seat here till earth tremors turned all into dust. Hundreds of dwarves lived here once, and now, not a living soul.
Ah! Help! Save me!
On the contrary, there was someone midst the ruins, and said someone was clearly in trouble. Niamh ordered her men to find the unfortunate soul. They returned moments later, leading a dwarf whose teeth chattered. They had found him in a ruined building where he'd sought shelter from ghouls. Judging by his appearance, the dwarf had spent the better part of a week there.
Mirko Vidmar, they call me.
He said, patting down unkempt hair that seemed to reach in all directions.
I came here seeking a family heirloom, lost in the tremors and the chaos they caused. I ken the chamber where it ought to be.
I too have lost my home, estate,
Said the Queen.
so I understand well what you feel. I shall help you recover your heirloom. From there they come! Drive them back!
Huh? Oh. Huh?
Getting to work.
If anyone asks, you've not seen me.
Thing about slings, they hide well. Hey?
again and again.
Discipline shall bring us victory!
Left, right, left. What now?
Let's get a move on before any others show up.
As soon as the fight was done, Mirko Vidmar ran towards a crate that stood on a pedestal, slipping on the now bloody floor. When the dwarf lifted the lid, precious stones spilled out.
Your heirloom? This?
Asked the Queen, rather puzzled.
I thought a pipe that belonged to your grandfather more likely.
Seems to me Brother Mirko wasn't wholly candid with us. This here's no heirloom, no family souvenir. It's the treasure trove of Clan Vidmar. We thought it gone for good.
Pressed for the truth, Mirko admitted no family sentiment had prompted this expedition. The dwarf had planned to leave Mahakam and start a new life among humans. Yet he did not wish to do so without sizable capital.
I canna stand to stay here a moment longer. The days, all of them, they're identical. Rise with the first cockscrow, march in double file to the latrine, crap on command, 12 hours down the shaft and home to sleep.
Mirko complained.
Want a wifey? Put in an application. In triplicate. Care to snip your beard? Elders got to approve it. You want to add buttermilk, not cream, to your mushroom soup? Clan council's got to debate it. How's a dwarf not to get balmy?
I understand the lad, no two ways about it.
Gabor sighed.
But I feel it's my duty to remind yous that what Mirko's going and doing here, well, there are laws. Treasure's due the Elder-in-Chief, not to Mirko. That's one. Second, any dwarf that wants to leave Mahakam can't take nothing but his breeches, his dixie, and his coat. So, brief like, consider well afore you make your decision, Your Grace.
Right of state at times requires a monarch to disregard laws, as well as pledges once given.
Said Meve, shutting the crate's lid with a loud crack.
I need resources to wage war against Nilfgaard, and towards that cause I will allocate this treasure.
Those The Lyrians rode a narrow, winding path along the rocky ridge. To one side were ice-covered boulders, to the other, a chasm hundreds of feet deep.
They could have at least erected some barriers,
complained Gascon, knocking snow from his cap.
Got plans for that.
Gabor said.
Just need to decide how high to make them.
What?
Think. Should they be the height of your average dwarf or a human? The debate's gone on for 20 years. On the one hand, you've got...
Gabor did not finish his discursion. He was interrupted by the Baba Ghazi that jumped down from the rocks.
Archers, shoot! Aim for underbelly!
Neve's soldiers made quick work of the lone monster. But the sound of battle spooked the horses harnessed to one of her wagons.
Whoa there! Whoa, damn it!
The driver tried to rein in the animals, but could not. They dragged him into the chasm along with his cart and the soldiers riding in it. They landed a few dozen feet below on a rocky outcropping. A moment later, Baba Ghazis swarmed everywhere.
Did you see how they fared? Anyone left alive?
Asked Neve, leaning over the cliff edge.
Worry more about their cargo.
Gascon replied.
They were also carrying chests of gold.
Blast. We can't get down there. Too steep and the snow keeps falling.
We can lower ourselves down a line.
You only live once.
Neve sighed.
Gascon, round up some volunteers and let us move out.
Moments later, the Queen was lowering herself down a line straight towards the gaping maw of a Baba Ghazi. Her only armor, a woolen shirt.
Careful!
Watch your heads!
There's been a mistake. I'm no mage.
Have it the white of an eye from half a league away.
You sure about that?
Oh, that was close.
Bereft of sword and shield, Neve could not withstand a single blow. She thus danced atop the frozen snow, deftly dodging the Baba Ghazi's lightning-fast strikes, while delivering but a few well-aimed hits of her own, to their eyes, ears, and gaping jaws. When the last monster fell lifeless to the ground, Neve walked up to the shattered wagon. The soldiers it had carried were bruised, frostbitten, but alive.
Your Grace, we were sure you'd leave us.
A good ruler never abandons her.
Soon enough, all were safely back on the path. The admiration Neve saw
Mantle of fresh snow today. Got a blow before too long. Bring a rush down. Oh, go, it's up a Shilemar's ass. Braving the snow in those meagre courts, are ye? Oh, go, it's up a Shilemar's ass. Oh, go, it's up a Shilemar's ass.
The Lyrians ascended the highest section of the Mahakam range. Snow crunched under their boots, cold air stung their lungs, and the wind snapped at their cloaks. Meve wiped sweat from her brow and turned to Raymond.
There! By the rocks! We shall...
The rest of her words were drowned out by a powerful blast. The entire mountain rumbled with a low, vibrating roar. The sound grew louder, echoing off the rocks, splitting their ears. The Lyrians looked around, disoriented. Few heard Gabor's warning.
Dinna just stand there! Get behind the rock! Quick! Hurry!
Meve followed the dwarf's gaze and cried out in terror. The snow stuck to the mountainside had started to slide down the slope, sending up mists of icy dust. Before she could react, the white torrent knocked her to her knees, crushing her and smothering her into the ground. All she felt after that was all-encompassing cold and fear. Meve survived. The dwarves who ran to the Lyrians' rescue dug her out of the snow in time. Some of her soldiers were not so lucky. The Queen looked at their bodies, blue, frozen. Next to them lay dead horses, demolished wagons. The losses were enormous. Meve wiped her cheek. Her tears burned her frozen skin. Gabor spoke a while with the leader of the Mahakam guard patrol that had come to their rescue. His face was dour.
What? What have you learned?
I'll tell you all in good time. First, you need a warm drink, good victuals.
No, Gabor. I need to find out what in blazes happened here.
Well, it was an avalanche.
Of course it was an avalanche. I'm no fool. But what caused it? What was that noise?
Signal horns. Ours.
So you brought this snow down on us?
Well, aye, but, unawares.
Explain, in brief.
See, we clean our mount regularly. The way menfolk shovel snow off their roofs. Otherwise, the whole shebang would come tumbling down on our heads. When snow's gathered deep enough, we blast our horns to cause a controlled avalanche. Then we need to, sweep up a wee bit and the road's safe.
All well and good, but why did you decide to clean up right as I was passing through?
I'm wondering that myself. Schedule says next cleaning should have been a week from now. But someone asked the route to be cleared earlier.
Who?
Meve, I'll tell you. But first, promise you'll...
Who?
Hey. Owain ep Glenvok, the Nilfgaardian emissary. Must have found out you'd be going through.
The bastard. Reynard! Reynard!
Wait! Wait! I understand you're a wee bit upset, you've every right. But you'll never prove Owain meant you harm. The sly weasel will make sure he didn't dirty his own paws.
I've no such scruples. I'll find him and kill him.
And then? How'd you tell that tale to Bruva? Meve, you're justly taught, but for the love, just this once, let it go. Or you'll leave Mahakam with me a scrap to show for it.
Moments later, scouts reported Owain was camped to the north of the accident site. Meve had to decide how much she was willing to risk to get her revenge on the Imperial emissary.
By the Elder's side, Burns, Nilfgaardian said the road was clear. What a mess. Nilfgaardian said the road was clear. The horsans.
There, milady, whispered one of the scouts.
Left of the path.
Meve squinted. The Nilfgaardians had taken shelter from the falling snow under a rocky outcropping. Meve's gaze caught something else. A metal container into which the Nilfgaardians tossed bones once they'd been gnawed clean. It looked strangely familiar. Only after a moment did the Queen understand it was an overturned Lyrian helmet dug out of the snowy grave of one of her men.
The Horsens.
Meve hissed.
They'll pay for this.
Meve! Asking you last time, keep a cool head.
Whispered Gabor.
You want vengeance? I get it. But think of the cost. If so...
Await my signal.
The Queen stepped out from behind the rocks, put a hand to her mouth, and yelled,
Owain!
Queen, my condolences. That avalanche. Oh,
Meve leapt towards the emissary, placed 2 hands on his neck, and hurled him into a rock with all her might. The Nilfgaardian's head slammed against the stone, and his skull crumpled.
Gefan Quan en Lyrian!
Take no prisoners!
Catch!
My goods got sand aplenty in them.
Ever have a stone knock out one of your teeth?
Life is mine now.
Greetings. What is it?
You must sweat like a swine in that jacket.
My pain serves a purpose.
Wise choice.
Left, right, left. What now? Not going into the fray already, are we?
Now, how did that incantation go?
Tell me you jest.
Order!
Of course, as you wish, master.
Notice! All roads lead to Nilfgaard!
An army's a waste of time for like me.
Order will triumph! It must triumph!
If anyone asks, you've not seen me.
Praise be to the great sun!
Meve showed no mercy for the Nilfgaardians in Ove Nebklenvog's camp. All would share their leaders. From what I've heard, only strong support from the Zigrins kept the Queen from receiving her. While passing the mining settlement of Kolstock, Meve heard the sounds of battle.
Hey-ho! Into the fray, lads!
The dwarves she saw, however, were not engaged in a battle against Shaelmars and Barbagazis. No, they were going at one another. Luckily, no weapons had yet been drawn, but given the dwarves have hands the size of bread loaves, this did not necessarily mean there would be no deaths.
Oi, lads!
Roared Gabor Zigrin.
What's this foolishness? Calm the hell down, damn it!
Piecing together the obscenities, Meve concluded they were debating an old quarrel about the height of a certain mountain, or rather of the twin peaks atop it. One of them lay in the territory of Clan Dahlberg, while the other in the Hoogsland. Each family felt their peak was the highest, all measurements indicating the contrary being total fabrications.
Queen?
Started Gabor nervously. Meve knew well that this type of age-old quarrel could easily end in bloodshed, so she resolved to help. Representatives...
Time to end this delicate feud, once and for all. Time to end this delicate feud, once and for all.
When she and her force had travelled half the way to the first, she heard a long roar that made snow shelves detach and descend.
Eyes up, lads! They're flying straight for us!
I saw them. No other way.
An army's a waste of time for one like me.
We must trust each other.
If anyone asks, you've not seen me. There's been a mistake. I'm no mage.
Have it the white of an eye from half a league away.
Left, right, left, right.
Eyes up, lads! They're flying straight for us!
Enough chit-chat. Draw your weapon.
Thing about slings, they hide well.
Without hesitation.
Ah!
Catch!
Life had me ploughed, now here I'm marching proud.
As you command.
An army's a waste of time for one like me.
Fear not. We shall achieve our goal.
Company, forward march!
Left, right, left, right.
Tell me you jest.
Order!
What do you want of me?
Your life is mine now.
Ever have a storm knock out one of your teeth?
Left, right, left. What now?
If anyone asks, you've not seen me.
Take those measurements and let's be gone from this place.
The Lyrians managed to repel the monsters and reach both peaks. Upon each, Meve ordered her men to take the measurements. While waiting, she admired the breathtaking view of the Mahakam Massif. The dwarven contraption left no room for doubt. The peak within the Dahlberg clan territory was 2 feet higher than that within Hoog territory. Gabor was clearly displeased with the results.
Oh, damn it all! I'd hoped you'd prove Brewer's clan was in the right. He'd have been content to see the Dahlbergs knocked down a peg or two, and possibly he'd have been more inclined to help you,
said the dwarf in frustration. Then, after a pause, he added,
Although, only you saw what the device showed, Queen. Perhaps you could, recalibrate the results a wee bit?
To lie would be simple, true,
said Meve.
Yet to forget the matter would be so much harder. No, Gabor, I shall tell the truth.
The dwarves of both clans had been waiting with bated breath for the expedition's return and report. As soon as Meve announced the results,
frostbite, you'd best avail yourself of some honey. Oh, snotters are frozen solid. Not just those in my beard. Like up my nose too. Once we're neath Carbon, we'll find our way to the tavern. Set our arses down by the fire and sip mugs of mulled wine. Once we're neath Carbon, we'll find our way to the tavern. Set our...
As Meve neared Langbridge, she ordered her bugler to announce her arrival, then retired to her tent to freshen up. Gascon was already inside, awaiting her.
I do not seem to recall summoning you.
In that case, I must tell you to fret not. Nothing wrong with your memory. I've come with no agenda. Spontaneously, call it, to chat.
Then I propose you leave. Just as spontaneously, call it. I must don fresh clothes. I'm to see the Elder soon, and I'd prefer to not smell of horse sweat.
Doubt it'd make much difference to him. And be assured, I know what I speak of. When last we met, I found myself standing downwind of him. A pungent experience.
Well, you were saved the experience of his breath. So pungent I thought I might faint.
Well, to revive you, pinch you awake, I'm sure would be quite a pleasure.
Gascon, I beg your pardon. Ugh, I shall have nightmares now.
Not tonight. For I fear you might not sleep at all. You see, there's something you ought to know. And decidedly before you meet with Bruver. The sites we cleared of beasts. I ferreted a bit. Noted something peculiar. Any notion what it was?
None. The monumental dwarven architecture, perhaps?
Bones, my dear Meve. Dwarven bones. Now, guess what I found on them?
Wait, don't dare give me any hints. Bite marks.
Of course. After all, they'd been gnawed clean of all flesh by monsters, incidentally making it quite easy to spot other markings. Ones made by axes and swords. To be certain, I showed the bones to our medics, and they confirmed my conclusion.
Meaning what? That the entire clan, the Fuchses,
did not perish due to an invasion of beasts from the depths. The monsters merely ate the bodies and occupied empty homes. Now, I shared my discovery with Gabor, and guess what he did? He panicked. He started to squirm, babble nonsense. I wager my right arm, he's hiding something.
Blast. Overly eager to aid us from the start he was. I might have sensed something. I shall have him summoned at once. And I thank you, Gascon. I won't forget this.
Minutes later, Gabor stood before the Queen. At first, he tried to mislead her with evasive answers, but as her pointed questions demolished one clumsy excuse after another, he had to give in.
Oi. As King Desmond said after I hit, we can't this under the rug.
If you think I welcome jests in this moment, you err. My fingers itch to summon the hangman.
Right. So. 'Tis true. I misled you. On our clan elder's orders, supposed to make sure you destroyed Burr's Rump and Davor's Abyss thoroughly enough to leave nae a trace.
What? Why? What did they wish to hide?
They was home to the Fuchses, our mortal enemies. They'd been a-boiling our heinies for ages, thumbing their noses, taking what they want when they want. And the Elder-in-Chief didn't gie a ploughing whit. So to stop them, our clan, we did the unpardonable. The Ziggurin elders saw their chance and they...
Gods. So you were responsible for the deaths of all those dwarves?
Me? I didn't raise a finger. Tried to stop them, in fact.
No witnesses survived, meaning you must have murdered the entire clan. How?
Queen, you sure you...
I am. And you should be sure to answer in full, omitting no detail.
A few years back, we got pummeled by a horrendous winter. Stone-breaking frosts, whiteout storms, avalanches. Made travelling a painful form of suicide. Hunger drove beasts out of their dens. Pass was covered in the filth. Got to where they paced right outside the walls. Fuchses fought a hard, bloody fight to keep the critters out of Davor's Abyss. Lost near every axe-wielding dwarf they had. Only survivors had to winter at Burr's Rump. Our elders felt such an opportunity wouldn't knock again. After killing the town's meagre guard, they set fire to it and barricaded the gates. They didn't stand a chance.
Bastards. How in the world did the truth go undiscovered?
Once it were over, our dwarves opened the gates. Before they'd lit their pipes, starving beasts came crawling out of the pass. The stank of dead flesh was strong. Zigrins who came back from that never were the same. If you'd only gandered their gaze when they had us all take a vow of silence. And then...
You invented that blarney about primeval monstrosities the Fuchses had awoken by mining too deep. A riveting tale, and one with a moral to boot.
Aye. But the elders worried Brewer would suspect something all the same. That's why they wanted you to destroy all the evidence.
Repugnant. You claim not to have taken part, but neither did you do anything to stop the massacre.
What was I to do exactly? The elders had decided. No dwarf would listen to me.
You might have informed the Elder-in-Chief. The guilty would have been punished.
The guilty? You didn't ken Brewer. He'd punish the whole clan. Women, children. No exceptions. Maeve. Queen. I'm begging you. He cannot ever learn of this. Aye. I want a hack flame too when I think what the Elder's done. But t'other way it'd bring but more pain and death.
You've got a lot of nerve, making requests after lying to me.
Trying to ensure you ken the stakes. But you'll do as you see fit. Like always.
I need to consider what's right. Meanwhile, Gascon, make sure Gabor remains our guest.
Of course. I'll let you know if he so much as rolls his eyes towards an escape route.
Always good to see it.
We shall return to this...
No skin off my back.